Hello, y'all. Thank y'all for connecting with Coach Diamond. Coach Diamond D, Certified Master Life Coach, RBT, Registered Behavior Tech. And I just want to say happy Monday. Happy Monday. Happy Motivational Monday. I'm a little late, but that's okay. I'm on, and that's all that matters. I want to say thank y'all for connecting with me right quick. I'm just going to hold y'all for a couple of minutes, not long. We're talking about overcoming your fears. A lot of people won't change, but they are afraid to change. They're afraid to shift, or they're afraid to even ask for the support in that change. A lot of us won't change because we feel like we don't need the support in these changes that we want to go through. But I'm here to tell you, when you're making a transformation or when you're making a change on, a life-giving situation, you need that value support. You need that value support. Don't ever hesitate thinking about, you know, the actual direct directions of how to get what it is that you need in life when you're going through situations, or when you're having to face situations, or when you are really, not understanding or not knowing what to do in certain situations. Y'all, it is imperative that we start asking for help. Help only to really, really get out your own way. We get so caught up on we are afraid to ask for help. We can give our answers to everybody else, but we don't want to take it accountability of our own actions and own responses on the things that we do in life. We act like we just don't want to see it or face it or have this conversation on certain situations, when honestly, y'all, when we act like that, those things, we are afraid to overcome or face these things that could possibly make us better. But yet we don't like talking about it because a lot of us don't like to let people know we're not there yet. Well, I encourage you to get there. This is why it's important to, strategize the things that are really, really stopping you from growing. A lot of people say, no, find out what you're missing, or find out what you like, and find out what you, no, find out what you don't like for at least one time of your life. The things that's not negative. The things that you don't like will set you free. When I identified that I don't like when people try to tell me what to do, you can ask me all day, but don't tell somebody what I need you need to do this, or what they need to do. You can offer it. You can actually give out pointers on it. You can give an encouragement. You can give thoughts. You can give all of those things. But find out what your triggers are. And then when you find out what your triggers are, you're going to be able to overcome the fear of those triggers. When they come, I don't want to go in there. I don't want to face this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to have to go back and go do this and go that. Y'all, when we say we don't want to do, we stopping our blessings. So I encourage you to stop holding yourself or beating up on yourself when you don't know what to do or what to say. Ask for help. Ask for support. Find out why. All right. I'm sitting here talking about a story right now, a coaching script for someone that really needs to, really focus on their transformation. And when they start focusing on their transformation, they'll start seeing, you know, the positive of what they need way beyond their own pain. What our triggers are is what brings us pain. But if we do not speak up on where we're stuck at, or where we are stuck in the change cycle, in the cycle of, wanting to become more resilient, but if we don't speak up it before the breaking point, which is the point where you are, already mad, frustrated, unhappy, don't know what to say, always want to argue, discontent with any area of your life, tolerate, ignore, repress, or otherwise deal with the circumstances because it is comfortable and familiar and you fear change. This is the discontentment part where you grow increasingly unhappy. And this is just, you just not content with nothing right now. You got to overcome that fear of the content, not the discontent. The breaking point, overcoming fear of change. Ask yourself, where am I on this change cycle? In the discontent, in the breaking point, or in the decision making? There are 6 of them. And when you identify all 6 after the decision, there's the fear, there's the amnesia facing moment, and there's the backtracking facing moments. We tend, when we don't overcome fear, we backtrack, right? And when we backtrack, it says most people choose to go back or to stick with the item they wish to change. You essentially talk yourself out of change because you are fearful of changing what is not working for you. It should not take you to the breaking point at all to shift or change the things that you want changed. And making that decision, your choices are powerful, your mindset is powerful. But when you go to make those decisions, you decide you're ready to change and declare that you will no longer tolerate the undesirable situation. Ask yourself, what is tolerable and what is not tolerated now? Like, I won't tolerate this, or I can tolerate this. Separate those things. Ask yourself those questions. Find out your why. Why are they? Why are they not? And then fear shows up usually shortly or immediately after your feelings of empowerment. You encounter your fear. You become uncomfortable and anxious about the idea of changing. You doubt your decision. Both options look bleak, and you feel helpless and empty because you're fearfully stuck. You don't know if you want to change or not. You just keep going through the motions, and then the amnesia comes that you don't even see it no more. And then you backtracking, doing the same old behaviors, feeling the same old way, getting the same old results. You got to ask yourself, which method do you want to use to break the cycle? Bottom line, break that cycle of overcoming those fear of changes, because once you break that cycle, everything starts unfolding and falling in place for you. So ask yourself, which method do you want to use to break the cycle? Do you want the extreme pain, the negative, the real extreme pain, or do you want the self-honesty pain? Which one would you want? Because when you go to the extreme pain, that explains to us you have a breaking point that is severe enough to push through the change cycle. For many people, unfortunately, it takes an extreme circumstance to push them to evolve, such a major finance loss, or a job loss, or a loss of loved one, the ending of the relationship, or a severe accident, or a nervous breakdown. You see, your higher self knows what you truly want and will lead you to it. If you resist, if you resist changing long enough, something will happen in your life that will put you in a position where you have no choice but to change it. And then you trying to figure out, when was that breaking point, or when was that turning point. It should never get to that, y'all. So your self honesty is being honest. Which method do you want to have, or you want to use to break the cycle? Self honesty. You have the humbling experience of realizing that there's a part of you that doesn't really want to change. You are comfortable with your habits, with what you know. You have a lot of fear that holds you back. You have many self limiting beliefs. You receive some sort of benefits from staying where you are. You are unhappy because you want to be unhappy. You are addicted to the situation, or you believe your pain is you. It's your story. You can see the resistance to letting it go. Only after reaching this level of self honesty can you truly choose to change? Sometimes it takes somebody to be just straight, direct, honest to a person for them to step out their own comfort zone and change. Sometimes it takes for somebody to lose something sincerely. And so when you are going through your overcoming fear of changes, you got to start asking yourself the self-honest reflection questions, or you got to ask yourself the other reflection questions, which leads you to which one am I going to be? That takes me back to Bible study when he asked us what we're going to be. Luke, you got, not that he asked us personally, but we were learning Revelations 3, chapter 3. I think it was verse 14, when he explained, are we gonna, like, what are we, lukewarm or lukewarm? Which one? And that's the same thing when it comes to overfearing changes. You got to recognize that fearful moment, that fearful change that you're afraid to step over. And then when you recognize it, speak on it. Just like you speak your positive affirmations, you need to speak the affirmations that feel like they in your way. Speak on those things. When you speak on them, write it down. Put it in a safe place. And when you write it down, always go back and reflect on it. Because that's when you check on yourself with the self-honesty reflections. So for an example, ask yourself, have you ever experienced change of amnesia before? What will happen if you continue not to change this? Are you ready to swallow the pill of self honesty, even if it's hard because you are tired of being dissatisfied? I was ready. So when you identify when you're ready, that's when you step boldly and confidently to the actual problem or source. Don't be afraid to ever stand up for yourself when you are absolutely living in fear. You got to start standing up for yourself when you're living in fear. Because if you don't, you're going to forever, ever, ever walk in that fearful moment. And you're going to be, afraid to speak up on things. No, speak up on things. Speak up on things. Because when you learn that, you know, either you are connected to the problem, you are the problem, or you are attached to the problem. And it's a source that either you feel like you need it or you don't need it, or it's just something that you're just connected to. You got to identify which one those things are for you. And then, excuse me, it's time to create that positive change. If you don't know, now you know. That's what I do. I'm Coach Diamond. I help you shift that fixed mindset to a growth mindset to become a better version of yourself. I help you resiliently step out your own way to overcome these things, the obstacles, these triggers, the things that make you feel uncomfortable or not right. And when you identify, you tackle those things, you put an action plan in it on how you're going to deal with this every single day, the rest of your life. It starts with you. The day you decide to get out your own way is the day you're going to change your life. Things don't happen overnight, but it's a process. Know that you don't have to walk in fear on no given circumstances. So if I was you, I would discover my purpose. I would identify the things that trigger me, and then I would take off. Because when you identify those, at least you know what to expect and when to expect it. All right. I love y'all, beautiful people. I told y'all I wasn't going to hold y'all long. Good 15 minutes, Monday night motivation. I motivate you to step out your comfort zone and go live a bit. Go live and see your vision beyond you, because it's bigger than you. And once you identify that and know who you confidently are on the inside, internally, understand that nothing and nobody can stop you on your journey but you. I love y'all, beautiful people. Stay connected. Let's talk and let's grow. Resilient Talk Podcast. Peace. Well, you did a good job.